It's just the wildness of this place that hits you. A wilderness unlike anything I've ever seen before. The Okavango Delta is the largest inland delta on Earth. Its waters ebbing and flowing to the planet's rhythm on such a scale that it's visible from space. 16,000 square kilometers of life in its rawest form. A pulsing heart beating loudly in an otherwise barren northern Botswana. Its waters, the lifeblood for all that are intertwined with it. I'm Aldo Kane, and for decades I have built a career operating in the wildest parts of our planet. To function at a high level in the wild takes skill, but to truly understand the environment you're in takes a lifetime of knowledge. That is why there is one rule on every expedition I will never ignore. Always defer to local knowledge. Those who are born, raised and forged in our wild places are the pillar to any expedition's success. And it's here, in these moments, where we learn the most. The Okavango Delta is a wilderness unlike any other on the planet. And so to attempt to understand it requires the knowledge and wisdom of some truly exceptional individuals. And this is their story.
Akanditi juwoto wanga ndati juwoto mukuinda ndizira yake mushama takukushishindulingana kuyopa chikutika imukunda ta mundiri mupashirwa muninda munizokuti mundari mupashirwa.
As polos go, C Company is one of the most accomplished there is, and one of the elite few who knows how to navigate the delta in its entirety. He belongs to the Bayei, a group of people who for generations have carved out a living in the delta itself, navigating the waterways in their iconic mokoro canoes. Deeply connected to this river system, the Bayei are entirely dependent on the waters that surround their homes. Once subsistence hunters, more recently, the Bayei found income through the demand for their intimate knowledge of the waterways. Like most remote places, the pandemic hit the delta hard. Now with outsiders able to return, the mokoros are on the move once again.
Morning, I'm Aldo. How are you? Aldo? Kaiser? John?
I want to understand more about what it takes to navigate these wild river systems and just how much work it takes to safely guide visitors through their waters. Joining a small polling team handpicked by C Company, our goal is to traverse the entire delta, from the northern panhandle to the buffalo fence in the south near Maun. But before we set off, there's just one tiny bit of information I need: how to actually pole a mokoro.
Uyisa inkashi masika mamuno woto matukuliaya atikike hari matrasi omuri kumbira kuno oto kuti uzorushire kuni atikukumbira kuno kuti uzorushire kuni ahuri kama shakari kuthamaradza urahuri uike inkashi shufupini no woto.
So reverse and stop is just the opposite.
What?
Yeah.
Turn.
Yeah.
That side.
Yeah.
Straight.
Looks easy. Okay. My go. I need to try and stand up first.
Yeah, go stand up.
How do you stand sideways?
Yeah, stand straight like this.
You know what? I wouldn't be so worried about learning to do this if it wasn't for the amount of hippos and crocodiles in the water. So sideways. Oh, I'm gonna get wet.
Reverse?
Reverse.
Yeah. Yeah, now go straight.
And then stop. It just shows you what years of you doing this, like you make it look easy. I was looking earlier and I was like, yeah, I could probably do that. Yeah. Got a stand-up paddleboard at home.
Put your pole behind you a little bit.
A little bit more.
Yeah.
Good technique you need, don't you? Like doing 30 kilometers a day seems quite a big ask. Each evening on the Delta will be spent camping out on one of the thousands of islands here. As I'm briefed about the days ahead and what to expect, it suddenly dawns on me that I might be throwing myself in at the deep end with this one. Not only do I have to keep up with these guys, but there will be sections where falling in the water will not be an option. But, as the saying goes, tomorrow we ride. So am I going next? So we're just setting off on day 2. This is my first day poling, but the boys aren't overly happy. So we'll see how we get on. Kaiser thinks he's going for a swim. He might be right. If I go in, do I just push off and jump? I feel like I'm a novice, a complete novice at this, so I'm probably making all the mistakes. I can feel my ankle muscles are pretty tense, so I'm obviously gripping for dear life with my feet. And these guys are very relaxed when they do it. I think that's the key, isn't it? It's hard.
그 시물로도 호두와 기나니 리냐 하리를 숨이 레버타노 기투다 mokoro. Honda kuya awatu wanga washama honda tia na kunzwa ku jilibi. Ndatapa kanao tuwa kurapa tupachigi ku no tatu wao. Ndatusha manarija tota awatu wangu dar kuya nao washama na nyina.
It's amazing. We are literally carving our own path through the papyrus and through the reeds here. They'll be doing subtle little markers, like they'll snap the top of a papyrus stem, and that means the mokoro's behind, they know which way we've gone. So it's all about the small, subtle cues, the markers. What's the wood on? Ah. I'm gonna stop talking and concentrate.
Murubuana muro oyana kana mapasu woto.
That's pretty much all done. Well, the guys are letting me pull when they think it's safe enough to do so. Like, we just passed a few hippos back there in deep water, and when you're in deep water, you're not really, look at all the flies, you're not really pulling, you're more using the pole as a sort of rudder. But yeah, it's hard. It's like learning to ski or learning to play golf or something. You know, I'm just using and relying on sheer strength to keep me from capsizing. So it's using all my muscles. I'm not very efficient at it, but it's only day 2, so hopefully in the next 3 or 4 days I'll become a ninja at it. But we'll see. So we're just going to set up kitchen area there. We'll get sundown there, which means we should get the sunrise right there. and the moon is waxing, so we're going to have full moon in a couple of days' time. Amazing. You can see the ellie print there.
When I came here the first time, I could not believe the clarity of the water. Up there in the middle of the delta, it's like glass. You can see straight to the bottom. It really looks like something out of a fairy tale.
We've just entered this area which is just absolutely teeming with life. Probably seen over 100 different species of bird. These mokoros are so quiet. This is definitely the way to do it.
This is what makes it ecologically so important, because suddenly in the middle of the dry, yellow, dusty northern Botswana ecosystem, you have this 16,000 square kilometers of green, grass and water. And so wildlife can reach huge concentrations, very high densities of wildlife are resident here in the Delta.
Okukwinda utkawapo puri kushangana apatu apakhumulumu apakha watu puri ngana kujabiri chimwe ni chimwe ishifwaneze shi.
So here in the Okavango Delta, we are in the middle. Pretty much we are as remote and as wild as it gets. 6 o'clock, you can almost set your watch by it. The sun dips right behind the horizon, and then you have half an hour-ish of this amazing golden light, and then it gets dark. We're already about to lose it, and it's exactly 6:30. But when that happens, this entire place comes alive. It's just utterly amazing. Listen to this.
Yeah, you're in a place that, you know, you are not likely to bump into another human being for a day in either direction. You know, you can travel for a day and not bump into another human being. So you really are in something, I wouldn't say primeval, but you're in nature as it, you know, it wouldn't matter if you were there or not. It goes back to that whole thing of the tree falling down in the forest if there's no one there to hear it. It doesn't matter if you're there or not. The life just carries on. Yeah.
As sure as the Delta casts its bewitching spell, complacency here can have serious consequences. Sharing these waters, there is one resident in particular who causes endless grief for the polars. The hippo. The Okavango is home to thousands of hippos, each as unpredictable and territorial as the next, with every individual demanding their own set of manoeuvres. Up to 3 tons of bulk can disappear silently, without a trace. If you switch off when poling, even for a second, a run-in with a hippo can cost you dearly.
Ndari kuya shuwoto kubva kukumuzanga. Angundishienda zini ndachitisa umvuvu. Ikwari ndokumwana kuti taka ndishangana kati kukulira umvuvu ndina. Umvuvu kati zipowoto wanga. Nganditi uri kukulira urundo ruwoto. Kuti zipa kuli dziri yanga. Tana mushindi shuhiri. Mikubu ya bula mokoro. Kya khona ho thatoha.
Day 4, and we are crossing at the minute quite a lot of lagoons, and the lagoons have hippos in them. The mood this morning and the atmospherics of our polers and the team in general is all quite fraught with nerves. We've been poling for about 2 hours and covered about 1 kilometre through the papyrus and trying to avoid the lagoons. And when we do go in the lagoons, we wait for 5-6 minutes. That's how long a hippo can hold its breath for. And then we tentatively push our way up the side. But what you are keeping an eye on is hippos coming at you from the water, and also hippos coming at you from the side.
When we travel like this, your eyes, we see here and then we look that side. If sometimes this guy, they like to hide it, laying down in the under of the water. So we can see a little bubbles like see the mokoros going. Then they give you sign. No, don't come here, my friend, because I'm resting here. Then we can pole around.
We respect the animals. That's why you will see when we see hippo, we just give them a distance. Even an elephant, if you give him a distance, he won't charge you.
The one thing that's utterly clear in this expedition is that without these polers, without these guys, you would not stand a chance. These guys are all between the ages of 57 and 60. This has been their life. So there's a huge amount of experience here. This expedition would be non-existent if we weren't using these guys, these local experts.
Timani yo banga to ye na sungwe no runai na garo nani tsama hela ntse bona hela hore to ye bata so bene papi sa mikoro ana hela hore hanero wane ke huti bisana tamat ina yan unvu papa kati Repote gwangiri hitarama. Ke bona ho maqhaya le hale, le hale ho ngwere ka ho.
This guy's coming in behind here, 6. Making our way across the lagoons, and we've just come across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hippos, 7, and they are not happy. And we're in these tiny little mokoros. There's another 2 there.
Arka sheta hela arka hutu kone ebe chidi la arka kira. Ka kira ro amolo di ba.
There they are, see them? I'm glad you're still with me, Ollie, because that was close. I'm just like, I'm blown away, utterly blown away. It's been relentless. I'm pretty wrung out, to be honest. This place is utterly wild. Still on edge. What a day.
Today was a different day.
A different day.
Sunday?
It's
Yeah, it is Sunday. We were supposed to be at the church.
at the church.
So
Have you done any prayers today? Not yet.
we praise every day.
Not every day.
Yeah.
When you sleep in the
Can you pray tomorrow that we don't have lots of hippos?
Yeah. This year I think is no water completely. Because normally in June, this time here we can pass here by boat. So it's no water because it's no more rain. There's no rain this year. Thank you.
At the minute we're heading sort of east, southeast, and we're just basically we're doglegging all the time, just following the water course. But it seems like there's a lot less water this year than the guys are used to by about 1 or 2 meters.
The flood variation is what maintains the seasonally flooded floodplains in the delta, and that is the ecological engine of the whole ecosystem of northern Botswana. The variation in flooding is absolutely critical. What we have seen in the last decade is 3 annual inflows that were very low. In fact, 2018-2019 rainy season was the lowest on record, and the records go back to the 1930s. That was a bit of an eye-opener for us here, because there are areas that were what we call permanent swamp, which never dry out. And in 2019, quite a lot of those areas dried out.
I'm not good. I'm not happy when there's no water. Because water is my life. This is my life. When there's no water, please, there's no job. Nothing you can do. Sitting in town, no job.
So when the flood is lower, we get worried. It's when the delta starts drying up. So we get worried. Yeah.
But this is the new planet, this is the new world that we're living in, where you know, these guys see it first. These see the climate change and the issues that we're creating in the West. They see it first. And it's hard for us to see it when we're in our cities and the weather's quite nice and it's dry and there's a heat wave and we celebrate. But really, you know, the problems are when it comes to areas like this, Okavango Delta. This is one of the biggest, in fact it is the biggest inland delta on the planet. And when this starts to dry up, then this entire area starts to change. Everything from the insects and the flies all the way up to the bigger animals like elephants and buffalo, etc. Which way are you going, Sea Company? Okay. We're in the lower reaches of the delta now, and there's visibly a lot less water. The floods haven't reached here yet. The floods haven't reached here yet. So all we're doing is basically picking our way through river section to lagoon, looking for leads like these, shallow water leads, and then into deeper water and just kind of lagoon hopping all the way down. Main channel or? Yeah, you see the lagoon? We've also done this about 220 kilometers so far, solely with Sea Company's memory, his memory map. We haven't at any point looked at a map or a compass,
for direction. It's literally from his head using landmarks and where the sun is. But what happens in these places is the natural environment is always changing. You know, you have fire, you have trees come down, you have elephants knocking over trees. So at that point, the natural environment is changing. So whereas our waypoints on the GPS never change, it marks the exact spot. When you're navigating this old way, you're using landmarks as your waypoints, and they do change. So he's constantly, every day, he's updating his own central GPS, his own mental GPS of the Delta. It's pretty impressive.
Ke dirisa molapo mo ne ke o itse te gore o tsamaya te boholoholo o shule ha o ra gore metsi santsa a botse go gongwe jaanong ke leba stress sa thutwana ba bona sa khuthi gore molapo o ne o tsamaya go khuthi gompieno ga o le ga o ra gore ka ga go tswalegile ko ka tsa te straight ke ka.
Yeah, so I am obviously the slowest polar in the group, so to speak. So I'm at the back. But I can see the guys have just pulled in now, just up ahead. So it looks like we're probably about to set up camp. We've got an hour before it's dark. But we made good progress. 30 kilometers today. So yeah, I think we're doing all right. This is just such a special way to travel. Look at this. We're just like drifting. Through the Okavango Delta in the most traditional way you can. Honestly, it's like we've been poling through a zoo. There's been so many amazing animals that we've seen. Yeah, I still haven't got it, have I?
That one.
Snoring.
This man.
Oh, the whole night.
Does it keep you awake?
You just irritating me the whole night.
You must take your Nkashi and hit him.
Yeah, I will do that today. It's what I'm telling you.
Because you can lie in your tent and you just go.
Yeah. That's what I'm telling him here.
Final push. That's 250 kilometers that we've done, and we've got 12 kilometers left to make the RV with the vehicles, and then we've got a 2 hour bushwhack in the vehicles to get back onto the roads. So yeah, up nice and early. Sun's just coming up. This is the most magical time of the day. We still have to, even though we're leaving early, we still have to be super careful here. It's still quite dark, and there's hippos just here and there's hippos further down here, so it's a bit of a trade-off. We do have, there's an early right there. That's awesome. So all in all, this has the makings for an amazing final leg of the journey. Anyway, go and get the rest of the bags. So this trip, we have traversed the Okavango Delta from the Panhandle down to the Buffalo Fence, but none of it would have been possible if it wasn't for the lads. I'm going to say poling team because that's effectively what they've been doing here, but they're not just polers on the Mokoro, they're guides. These guys are guides in the Okavango Delta.
This way.
Their knowledge that they have about the wildlife, about the seasons, about the atmosphere, about how a person moves through that environment safely. These guys have literally been my guide through this journey. We are poling, which is new to me. We are poling through a section of water with Nile crocodiles and hippos. But the reward for that is that this is one of the most pristine wildernesses on the planet. In these boats, you can slide silently through where the wildlife is. There's no motors, there's no noise. We're literally part of the environment, not just traveling through it. And that, to me, is the cornerstone of adventure, is to move through an environment, leave no trace, and to take back unbelievable memories.
Thank you.
Thank you, mate.
Yes,
that was amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing journey.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
So these guys
Thank you very much.
have lived, breathed this delta, this wild wilderness
Thank you,
environment
brother.
for
Thank you.
all of their lives. They have navigated for over 250 kilometers without a map, without a compass, without calling anyone, without a GPS. It's been one of the most pure expeditions that I've ever done. But that sort of knowledge is second to none. That is a deep, true understanding of this environment.